We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US to impose new higher reciprocal rates from midnight today. China to face a staggering 104% additional levy. Markets remain in turmoil. S&P 500 hits lowest close in almost a year. Donald Trump continues to defend tariffs, claiming they're already bringing $2 billion a day, stresses that the U.S. is working on tailored deals with foreign trade partners. Dominican Republican nightclub, a roof collapse kills at least 79, including governor and ex-MLB players. Rescue operations underway, cause of accident being investigated. President Draupadi Murmu arrives in Slovakia on second leg of two-nation-state visit to meet her Slovak counterpart Peter Pellegrini, hold delegation-level talks and exchange MOUs. And on to the details now. Trump's reciprocal tariffs against all U.S. trading partners are set to take effect on Wednesday midnight. This comes after the 10% levy Trump ordered on nearly all of America's trading partners last week. Among his sweeping new trade moves is a hefty 104% tariff rate on China. This comes on top of Chinese tariffs that were in place prior to Trump's second term. China was already set to see tariffs increase by 34% on Wednesday as part of Trump's reciprocal tariff package. But the president tacked on another 50% after Beijing didn't back off on its promise to impose 34% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods by noon on Tuesday, adding an additional 84% in duties. White House press secretary said the U.S. president believes that China has to make a deal with the United States concerning additional tariffs.
He believes that China wants to make a deal with the United States. He believes China has to make a deal with the United States. It was a mistake for China to retaliate. The president, when America is punched, he punches back harder. That's why there will be 104% tariffs going into effect on China tonight at midnight. But the president believes that she and China want to make a deal. They just don't know how to get that started. And the president also wanted me to tell all of you that if China reaches out to make a deal, he'll be incredibly gracious, but he's going to do what's best for the American people.
Well, Trump defended his trade policies, claiming the U.S. is now pouring in billions from tariffs on foreign imports. He stated that tariffs are generating up to $2 billion a day. The U.S. president has claimed the tariffs will prompt countries to try to negotiate a deal with the U.S.
Taking in almost $2 billion a day in tariffs, $2 billion a day. And we're doing very well. And we're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals. Right now, Japan is flying here to make a deal. South Korea is flying here to make a deal, and others are flying here.
Well, U.S. stocks dropped on Tuesday for a fourth straight trading day since Trump's tariff announcement last week. The S&P 500 tumbled into the red in the early afternoon, with losses accelerating in the final 90 minutes of trading. The broad-based index finished down 1.6% at 4,982.77, its first close below 5,000 points in nearly a year. Stocks have been in free fall since Trump's Liberation Day event announcing tariffs on major U.S. trading partners last Wednesday. S&P 500 companies have lost $5.8 trillion in stock market value, the deepest four-day loss since the benchmark was created in the 1950s. Trump's sweeping tariffs have raised fears of recession and upended a global trading order that has been in place for decades. Well, also, Japan's main Nikkei index of shares fell in early trade on Wednesday as worries about a U.S.-China trade war killed off a rebound rally on the Wall Street. In Tokyo, the Nikkei 225 was down just over 3% and the broader Topix index was off 3.1%. South Korea's currency, meanwhile, fell to its lowest level against the dollar since 2009, while oil prices slumped 3% in early Asian trade. And U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday said the U.S. will soon announce a major tariff on pharmaceutical imports. Speaking to an event at the National Republican Congressional Committee, Trump said the tariff will incentivize drug companies to move their operations to the U.S. And U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to boost the U.S. coal industry, including by loosening environmental regulations and opening federal lands for mining. The orders include efforts to save coal plants that were likely to be retired, including unlocking authorities in the 1950 Defense Production Act to boost coal production. They also direct Energy Secretary Chris Wright to determine whether coal used in steel production is a critical mineral. In addition, the orders direct Interior Secretary Doug Burgum to acknowledge the end of a moratorium that paused new coal leasing, which allows private companies to buy the right to extract coal on federal lands and to prioritize the leasing.
Under this order, I'm also directing Secretary Wright to use billions of dollars in federal funding to invest in the next generation of coal technology, which is an amazing technology in terms of getting the full potential of coal and also doing it in a very clean, environmental way. In addition, I'm instructing the Department of Justice to identify and fight every single unconstitutional state or local regulation that's putting our coal miners out of business.
Well, Iran on Tuesday responded to U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of direct talks regarding its nuclear program. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi insisted the negotiations in Oman on Saturday would be indirect, contradicting Trump's surprise announcement on Monday that there would be direct talks. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said on Tuesday that U.S.-Iran talks in Oman on Saturday will be direct, dismissing Iran's insistence the discussions will be indirect. The U.S. and Iran have engaged in indirect talks several times in recent years. The country has traditionally played a mediating role between Washington and Tehran, including during talks held there in 2023.
When it comes to Saturday, I won't get ahead of the president. He has said there will be direct talks with Iran on Saturday. I won't further any details from this podium for obvious reasons, security reasons. It will, provide an update as we always have. However, when it comes to Iran, the president has reimposed crippling sanctions on the Iranian regime, and he's made it very clear to Iran they have a choice to make. You can strike a deal with the president, you can negotiate, or there will be hell to pay.
Well, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth toured the Panama Canal's Miraflores locks on Tuesday during his visit to the Central American nation. Earlier, Hegseth said the United States will take back the Panama Canal from Chinese influence and vowed to deepen security cooperation with Panama's forces. More than 40% of U.S. container traffic, valued at roughly $270 billion a year, goes through the Panama Canal, accounting for more than two-thirds of vessels passing each day through the world's second busiest interoceanic waterway. And in the Dominican Republic's capital, Santo Domingo, nearly 80 people have been killed and more than 150 injured after a roof collapsed at a nightclub. Our provincial governor and former Major League Baseball pitcher Octavio Dotel were among the victims. Dotel died on the way to hospital after being pulled from the debris. Also among the victims was Nelce Cruz, the governor of the northern Monte Cristi province. The incident happened in the early hours of Tuesday at a concert by popular Dominican singer Rabi Perez, who was among those killed. The event was attended by politicians, athletes and other prominent figures. Hundreds of people were inside the venue and some 400 rescuers are still searching for survivors. Dominican President Luis Abinadar and his wife Raquel Arbade visited the scene of nightclub. They greeted authorities and embraced family members waiting for news of their relatives and expressed condolences to the families affected. And 3 U.S. citizens convicted over a failed coup in Democratic Republic of Congo have been transferred into U.S. custody after Kinshasa commuted their death sentences last week. The deal to hand over the Americans was finalized as U.S. President Donald Trump's senior Africa advisor, Prasar Bharati, traveled to Congo to hold meetings with President Felix Tshisekedi in the capital, Kinshasa. It comes amid negotiations between Washington and Kinshasa on security and mining. Ahead of the trip, Trump's special envoy for hostage response had called on Tshisekedi to release the Americans. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce said Washington condemned the armed attacks on May 19th last year and supports DRC in holding those responsible accountable. And the second day of the annual investment meeting Congress kicked off at the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Centre as the premier global platform continues to facilitate crucial dialogues on foreign direct investment and economic cooperation. The 3-day event, which began on the 7th of April, has transformed Abu Dhabi into an international nexus for investment strategies, sustainable development initiatives, and discussions on economic transformation. Well, high-profile sessions are drawing strong attendance, particularly the Trade Tech Forum co-hosted with the World Economic Forum and specialized investment forums dedicated to India, Japan and Russia.
We are here with 8 of the startups from India, from different parts of India, from healthcare, from infrastructure, from social and community building and edtech. And it's been a wonderful experience. We met a lot of VCs in Abu Dhabi, and Abu Dhabi is a wonderful gateway for GCC region.
We are participating at the AIM Congress. It's a platform for investments where international investors are here, and as a joint chamber, we are participating in this to highlight investment opportunities in Ajman, and we're talking about the Indian-UAE relationship. We've witnessed that a lot of investment is coming from India or elsewhere from around the globe to take advantage of the CEPA agreement, which is the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between UAE and India.
And in Nepal, a Setu Machindra Jatra took place in Kathmandu, where a wooden chariot carrying Setu Machindranath statue is paraded from place to place around Kathmandu for 5 days. Setu Machindranath is a deity of rain worshipped by both Hindus and Buddhists in Kathmandu. A wooden chariot, 32 hands tall, is constructed and the procession is celebrated by devotees pulling across Kathmandu during the Nepali month of Chaitra. During all 5 days, people play traditional musical instruments, offer butter lamps, pay obeisance and parade around the streets of Kathmandu with the chariot procession. And some news from around the world now. Thousands of indigenous protesters from across Brazil marched to the state capital, Brasilia, to oppose controversial land rights legislation. Adorned in traditional attire, the protesters demanded action to address escalating violence targeting indigenous territories throughout the country. They also called for state protection of their lands, which are threatened by deforestation for agribusiness, mining and other extractive activities. In a drought-stricken Mexican border region, conservationists are restoring the once-dying Colorado River Delta, spanning from the U.S.-Mexican border to the Gulf of California. These initiatives aim to breathe life back into the ecosystem. Decades of effort have replaced invasive shrubs with native cottonwood and willow trees along the mostly dry riverbed. This ecological revival highlights growing concerns over water competition between Mexico and the United States. Comcast Corp is set to launch its first universal theme park in Europe, scheduled to open by 2031 in Bedford. The park is expected to create 20,000 construction jobs and 8,000 hospitality roles upon completion. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer praised the multi-billion-pound investment as a significant boost to Britain's economy and infrastructure. Projected to attract 8.5 million visitors in its first year, it will feature themed lands, a hotel and entertainment complexes. And still to come in this edition of DT India Live. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman attends 13th India-UK Economic and Financial Dialogue. India's Suruchi Phogat, Vijay Veer Sidhu bagged gold medals in pistol shooting at the ISSF Shooting World Cup in Argentina. And Turkey's Hell Creek is captivating nature lovers with stunning caves, canyons, valleys and rocky formations.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, President Draupadi Murmu is visiting Slovakia from today on the second leg of a two-nation visit. This is the first visit by the President of India to Slovakia in 29 years. President Murmu will hold bilateral meetings with her Slovak counterpart, Peter Pellegrini, and Prime Minister Robert Fico. President Murmu will also meet the Speaker of the National Council of the Slovak Republic, Richard Racy. The state visit by President reflects the importance India attaches to its bilateral relations with Slovakia. It will provide an opportunity to further strengthen and broaden our bilateral ties. President Murmu will also interact with members of the Indian community. Well, our correspondent spoke to Girish Luthra, who is the president of Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI. He is part of business delegation accompanying President of India.
As President of India has embarked on her two-day visit to Slovak Republic, we have seen a real uptake in the economic relations as well. And to further strengthen, we have business delegation from India visiting Slovakia. We here are joined by Girish Luthra, President of FICCI. How do you feel that India-Slovak business relation will shape in the future?
India and Slovak has certain great similarities like medium and small scale industries. So tying up with each other will become much easier. And so that is going to take a long way. Last 3 years, we have been focusing on inter-country relationship to be strengthened by multiple folds. We are going to focus on specific industrial areas which are of common interest. In last 2 years, the focus of India has been to become the supplier of green hydrogen to the world, and Europeans are looking very closely with it. Slovakia has a port for green hydrogen, loading, unloading. Same, India is developing one, so this can be a gateway to Europe. India is growing very fast in last 5 years, we have seen. This will happen continuously more, and Slovakia is a manufacturing hub of defense equipment for Europe, one of them. So tying up in that sector is going to be another major outlook. We have seen lot of synergy between the two countries.
How is the relations happening between FICCI and other industrial organizations here in Slovakia?
FICCI and Slovakia Chamber of Commerce and SARIO, which is an industrial support system from government of Slovakia, we already have a tie-up and a MOU signed for supporting industries in both the countries.
And really we hope that this visit will truly be fulfilling its true potential in terms of our future relations as well.
And earlier, President Draupadi Murmu on her state visit to Portugal interacted with various members of the Indian diaspora. Indian diaspora have found unique ways to use cork tress for entrepreneurship. As cork trees are found extensively in Portugal, it is used for wine bottles. Today, cork has many uses as bags, postcards, frames, flooring, wallpaper and much more.
Main product is in cork. So it's made by cork tree. We have many varieties in bags and backpacks. It's from the cork tree. You can cut every 9 years and the tree will be normal after 9 years. So every 9 years you can recut. It's very famous in Portugal. So in Alentejo there is big farms of cork tree.
Cork, which was previously used for bottles, is now being put to other uses. Nelcork in Lisbon is a shop that is using cork to make flooring, wallpaper, bags, backpacks and multiple other products. This just goes on to show the utility of this product, which comes from this tree. The cork tree, which is grown in Portugal extensively, is cut every 9 years. We've given you an understanding of the various things that can be done with it. With camera person Loknath for DD India from Lisbon, this is Jayanti Jha.
And India's Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today participated in the 13th ministerial round of the India-UK Economic and Financial Dialogue in London. At the event, co-chaired UK Chancellor of the Exchequer Sitharaman outlined priorities of the Government of India for enabling sustained economic growth and investment opportunities with the policy support that is shaping New India. She added that India offers a compelling growth opportunity for foreign banks and the Government of India is actively encouraging foreign investment in the banking sector. The Union Finance Minister said that India is home to leading fintech ecosystem driven by a large tech-savvy population, supportive government policies and innovative startup ecosystem. Around 60 UK investors attending the event spoke about their keen interest and commitment for a deeper and broad-based investment collaboration between UK and India. And India's Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw on Tuesday underlined that AI is the new industrial revolution and urged stakeholders to share ideas on integrating AI with digital public infrastructure. Inaugurating the day-long stakeholders meet organized by the Unique Identification Authority of India or UADAI with ecosystem partners in Delhi, Minister Vaishnaw said Aadhaar is the Aadhaar or basis of many initiatives and this is the core of TPIs. He stated that the central government has a primary focus on improving the ease of living further. He gave the example of Aadhaar face authentication in this context and how it is an enabler. At the event, UADAI also unveiled a new Aadhaar app for secure digital verification and QR-based data sharing, which enhances user privacy and reduces dependence on physical copies. And moving on, Reserve Bank of India's Governor Sanjay Malhotra will deliver the Monetary Policy Committee statement today. All eyes will be on any possible announcement of another rate cut as the central bank's MPC will meet amid a global turmoil over the US tariffs. In its previous meeting in February, the MPC unanimously decided to reduce the repo rate by 25 basis points, reducing it from 6.5% to 6.25%. And in sports updates from ISSF Shooting World Cup, India bagged 2 gold medals on Tuesday, surpassing China's medal tally. Suruchi Singh downed the mighty China by surprise, surpassing 3 of its athletes to win the gold medal in women 10-meter air pistol at the season-opening ISSF World Cup in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Earlier, Suruchi, who had won an impressive 7 gold medals in the shooting nationals in New Delhi last year, had topped the qualification chart with 583 points. Meanwhile, in the men's 25-meter rapid-fire pistol, Vijayveer Sindhu won yet another gold. India has now won 4 gold medals, a silver and a bronze in the competition. China's second has 3 gold, 2 silver and 3 bronze. And located in Yerbasi village in Turkey, Kehenham Deresi, or popularly called Hell's Creek, is captivating nature lovers with its stunning scenic beauty. Stretching across a 20-kilometer hiking route, this serene offers biodiversity, especially during the spring. Take a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world in the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.